the issue of the Main Street issue. That's who was here tonight. We have 9,000 residents in this city, 488, I think, commercial frontage zoned properties that are commercial, that are viable. They are commercial now. We have and I'll use terms that are sometimes used with planners, commercial nodes within the city. We have nodes down around the bypass as it comes through by 41. That's kind of a commercial node of activity. Up 41's another node that's kind of discrete. You can look at it, and planners do. Another node is the environs around the courthouse, which is the guts area of the Main Street program. Main Street program is supposed to redevelop distressed properties that are not up to their capacity, and that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal, is to revitalize an area, which is this commercial node I'm talking about. Now, I didn't drive around today, but within the last couple of days, I did drive around and look at those properties up and down Jefferson and Broad, down to Liberty, that particular area. I did not see one for sale sign. I did not see one for rent sign other than the one that's on the back end of the Jennings Building. And we all know that's under due diligence by a proposed purchaser. Name was mentioned this evening of the individual doing that. And we all hope that there is a transition for that building. It is an eyesore. It sits there. It's not productive. So hopefully something happens. Now, what I've heard that particular group is looking for is not going to be a retail outlet selling goods. There's different things that are going to go on there, but they're not retail sales. Okay? They're going to have entrepreneurs, training. It's going to be a tie-in with PHSC. That's sort of what we understand, but it's been a very iffy cloud, if you will, of what's going on. It's not been very definitive, but there's something in that order to help entrepreneurs develop their skills. There's, as I heard the last time, there was going to be some computer sort of in things going on, that level of entrepreneurship. But other than that, there's not one for rent, not one for sale. That, in reality, is a viable commercial node to this day. Every property is producing income for either the tenant and therefore the landlord, or the landlords may actually be the ones operating the business. The problem is it's not the business that Main Street wants to be there. They want to have a different downtown than exists. But this downtown, this node, is productive. It serves its purpose. We may not like the fact that there's not a department store, there's not a place to do this or that or whatever. But that's what exists today. And if the way to go with what Main Street wants to do, you're going to have to tell people, well, we'd like for you to move out. The attorneys move somewhere else. You hairdressers move out. You people with a spa move out, because we want to do different things down here. So I think the issue is not one of bring people to downtown and it will change. That's not going to change downtown. There are thriving businesses made up of professionals and those who do personal services primarily, for those two particular groups, and a handful of retail outlets and a handful of restaurants. So what is Main Street want to do? And is it compatible with the existing businesses? All those places are businesses that apparently are viable. They're paying the rent and paying wages, whatever. So I don't know. The issue becomes what I've been accused of. Oh, I hate Brooksville. I'm down in Brooksville. It's never going to be anything. It is something. It is something right now. And it's going to be more professionals. We've had 4 attorneys move in the last 18 months and set up practice in the city in that particular core area. And that's going to happen more. The more population we get in the county, and the fact that turns from a government center to a judicial center, There's going to be more attorneys looking for places to camp out, to run their business somewhere around the environs of the courthouse. Now, I've given this talk a couple of times, but I'll tell you right now, no one from Main Street has ever challenged my observations or my analysis. They've in general accused me of being down on the city of Brooksville. I just don't like Brooksville. I don't think Brooksville survives. That's wrong. Because they're attacking me on that level as opposed to saying, but you're wrong. We'll make room down there. We'll have those people move out or whatever it may be. So we need to understand what it is. It is what it is, and it is a viable commercial node. It's just not the commercial node that the Main Street wants. If people want it to be 1960. I don't think you really want it in 1960. But that's the problem I have with Main Street is what it is. And I think, like you mentioned it one time before, they're a merchants association. That's the level of activity. Throw events, bring people downtown. They'll go to the bistro. Depending on the time of the day, maybe it's a weekend deal. They'll end up in Main Street, enchiladas, whatever. They'll go to those restaurants, and yes, maybe they'll drift into Treasures from the Heart and Depot, but the main issue is it's a viable node right now, producing income, producing taxes, and I don't think they're voluntarily going to leave. So I would challenge Main Street to come in here. I'm willing to do the discussion either here or on their turf and tell me what's the plan, definitive. Don't give me glowing generalities about, well, we're going to change this, and here's some artist renderings of downtown. Since I've been sitting here, I've seen 3 different artist renditions of downtown and what they're going to do, and they're beyond reality. But they're renditions, but they never happen. So, just wanted you to know where I come from as to the downtown and Main Street. I don't mind funding them as a merchants association because the merchants who want to have that foot traffic, because all those other folks I talked about, their business plans are based on appointments. Everybody from a haircut to going to a spa, especially the attorneys, the financial advisors, the title companies, the engineer, insurance people, they work on appointment schedules. They don't work on people walking in. Not that they're going to turn them away. They don't work on the weekends, not the professionals, not the personal services. Yeah, they'll be out there on Saturday. But their business plans do not incorporate great gobs of people walking up and down the streets, weekends or otherwise. That's not what brings them to town. So, like I say, we always end up having these kind of discussions when staff is here, but like I say, I don't mind funding them as a merchants association, but the 40 people they have on all these committees, I think they're going nowhere. I think Natalie does her thing with the events, and that brings people to downtown, and that's fine. It provides entertainment. It provides input for those restaurants, maybe those few retail outlets that we actually have up here right now. That's fine and dandy. But this thing that they're going to change the world up here on top of the hill, I just don't see that happening. So that's my last time bringing that up. But like I say, no one's ever challenged my observation or my analysis with that observation. So.